NBA's reigning MVP, Joel Embiid, found his way into wrestling news headlines, so we'll see what's new with him. We'll also check out some new scary rumors for Roman Reigns, AJ Lee, and much more. Starting things off with Triple H's very special WrestleMania invite to an NBA player. It's no secret at all that Joel Embiid is a massive WWE and Triple H fan. Triple H was even the special guest at a 76ers game one time and rang the bell for the team and got the fans in the arena hyped up with Joel. They even had special DX merchandise that featured a mini cartoon version of Joel Embiid standing next to Shawn Michaels and Triple H on the merchandise design. So that was a special moment there for Joel as a wrestling fan. And Joel Embiid constantly makes headlines since his go-to celebration after a big game changing plays is the classic DX chop, which is a very cool thing to see one of the world's best basketball players actively use a wrestling taunt and put it on the NBA's platform. But the only issue there is for Joel Embiid's pockets, since the NBA finds the chop to be very inappropriate and goes against their rules. Joel Embiid used the chop back in January 2023 and was fined $25,000 for it. Triple H even responded to the incident back then with a tweet that said to Joel, quote, "Curious, if you were a bigger check now, could you get a volume discount to cover the rest of the season? Hashtag I'll chip in," end quote. Well, 9 months later, and Joel Embiid brought back out the DX chop during a recent game this week. Shams Charania of The Athletic and Stadium reported the Philadelphia 76ers star was fined $35,000 for his celebration during Sunday's victory over the Portland Trail Blazers. WWE Chief Content Officer Triple H took the opportunity to respond to the incident by suggesting for Embiid to make an appearance at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia in April, where he can do the chop all he wants with no fines. Triple H had this to say, quote, "Hey Joel Embiid, I know a place where you can do that all day and everyone will love it. WrestleMania 40 is right here in Philly," end quote. Joel actually responded to Triple H's offer pretty quickly and thanked him for the offer, but said he doesn't believe he'll be in Philly during the event. So at least the offer has been put out there by Triple H. But when it comes to athletics participating in WWE activities, teams usually don't want them getting in any physical contact because they don't want them to get injured with all the money they have invested in them and affect the upcoming seasons of the respective sports. So even if Joel Embiid wants to make it a WWE appearance down the line, it probably won't be anything too physical. But still, an appearance of any kind will be lots of fun to see. Just a few days ago, we went over the rumors that Crown Jewel will be Roman's potential last title defense of the year, and how he'll likely miss Survivor Series. Well, now those rumors and reports have been taken up another notch. Now the word going around is that Crown Jewel will be Roman Reigns' last overall match of 2023, and how he won't wrestle again until after the new year. No one knows how true and reliable that rumor is at the current moment of time, but just assuming it is true, that means that Roman could be out of action for a majority of November, all of December, and a majority of January until the Royal Rumble. That does seem hard to believe, especially since Roman Reigns is still just coming off a 2-month break. But that's still the word that's going around. There's no word on if Roman will make some non-wrestling appearances on SmackDown in the weeks after Crown Jewel to keep the storyline flowing, or if he'll just disappear again for a few months. If he is set to fully vanish for a few more months, it appears that WWE will have to get very creative to think of a way to keep advancing Jimmy Uso's story without Roman being around. It seems like Jimmy's current storyline and direction does need Roman around to play off of. So if Roman suddenly isn't there for a bit, you can't help but wonder what exactly that'll mean for Jimmy's direction and where he could be headed. So it's definitely a scary rumor, especially if it means going another 3 months without a Roman Reigns match. But all we can do right now is wait and see what ends up happening there. It was already rumored that Roman won't be making it to Survivor Series on November 25th, and that's the last premium live event of the year. There's no event until December. So if Roman does miss Survivor Series, then this rumor really could end up being true because there'll obviously be no reason for him to return in December with no premium live event in sight. He would then most likely return sometime in January to build towards Royal Rumble. So that'll be a very important situation to monitor in the coming weeks there for the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Bayley and AJ Lee shocked the world this week with a surprising reunion. They took to Instagram to share a new photo together during Halloween week. The pair's history with each other dates back to nearly a decade ago. Bayley has said on multiple occasions that AJ did take her under her wing, answered all of her questions, and gave her advice and tips of what to expect on the main roster and how to handle certain things. Bayley has credited AJ on multiple occasions for giving her the confidence and boost she needed in so many different fields of her career. And during AJ's last ever professional wrestling match back in 2015, AJ didn't want her own merchandise. She instead wore Bayley's signature "I'm a Hugger" shirt, just as one final endorsement for Bayley and as a way to basically tell fans that I may be done here, but this superstar that's coming is the future. And AJ made a great choice there with her endorsement. Bayley would end up coming to the main roster just 1 year later in 2016, and she's gone on to win multiple world titles, tag team titles, Money in the Bank contracts, and so much more. It appears that NXT has their next big breakout star rising up in the women's division, and that's Lola Vice. Lola has first signed to WWE in 2022 and already had a pretty strong following behind her from her roles in reality competition shows, MMA, modeling, and much more. She had that MMA experience but didn't wrestle her first official match until last year. And now, just 1 year later, and the 25-year-old superstar appears to be in a very promising part of her future in the WWE Women's Wrestling. Lola Vice has won the Breakout tournament, which gives her a guaranteed title match. Lola is already mentoring the current NXT Women's Champion, Lyra Valkyrie, on Twitter and keeping an eye on her, so that contract cash-in could be happening sometime in the near future. For only being in the wrestling industry for 1 year, Lola Vice is climbing to the top of the mountain pretty quickly, and most definitely winning the NXT Women's title will solidify her rise. But what are your thoughts on today's stories with Roman Reigns, Lola Vice, and Triple H? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.